And now for our feature presentation.
Hello and welcome to the channel. And for today's video we are going to check out this new Marvel Legends Professor Hulk. And so here we are. Sorry for my absence. Sometimes life gets in the way and other priorities, stuff takes over priorities in your life, and so I haven't been able to post any videos recently, and I just got this guy in this week, and so if I didn't do anything soon, my algorithm, which is already pretty effed up with YouTube, with my posting schedule, I just thought, well, might as well get something out now that'll hold up for maybe a couple of days before the algorithm forgets me again. Anyway, so here we have the new Professor Hulk. Now, later on, we're going to do a comparison with the Maximum Hulk, which is my only other Hulk figure that I have in my collection. I never made a video on Maximum Hulk, frankly, because there wasn't going to be anything new that I would add that wasn't already said. Overpriced, lots of reused parts, and overall a little disappointing. And so when Professor Hulk was announced, even though he's still basically every iteration of a previous Hulk that Marvel Legends has released, for the past, 5 to 10 years, it's basically the same mold, the same, the same mold, same features, same proportions, same everything other than just changing up the color and the head sculpt. Now, one of the reasons that the Professor Hulk seemed something that I would want to get if I already had Maximum Hulk was, well, two things. One, durability. We already know that the Maximum Hulk has had its issues with the rubber overlay on the chest. Some people, while keeping their figure in the Hulk clap pose, and what do they call it? Thunderclap pose. Sorry, the rubber overlay, due to it being like squished up. Okay, sorry about that cut. My dog started barking. So as I was saying, for durability purposes, I wanted the Professor Hulk, so as a backup in case the Maximum Hulk started to run into issues, and basically I had to throw that one away. As I was saying, the rubber overlay, people were having issues with it tearing when having the figure posed and having to flex the rubber overlay, so it would start to crack. And so the only reason I got the Maximum Hulk was, one, it was on discount on Amazon, and it would have been my only Hulk in my collection. At the time, nobody knew if they were gonna release a new version of Hulk, and so I waited a few months. The figure came up on discount on Amazon. I got it, and then like a few months later, the Professor Hulk was announced. So so here we are. Now, in second, the other thing that attracted me about this Hulk are the head sculpts that come with this figure. Right now, the figure has the second alternate head that comes with the figure, which is actually my preferred head sculpt. And overall, the look of this Hulk is the Hulk that I read when I was started collecting in the early '90s, which is the Dale Keown Hulk. Now, the Maximum Hulk, the default head, is the Dale Keown Immortal Hulk cover image. Turned into a head sculpt. So that was that's how I display my Maximum Hulk. But now that I have this figure and I can use this head sculpt for that version of Hulk to have either the a version of the without the shirt and the torn pants, but with the angry Dale Keown head sculpt, and I can keep this version of Professor Hulk with the other head sculpt, which is the one that comes standard or comes on the figure when in the package. And we'll look all of that in just a second. But yeah, the thing that I like about this Hulk is that he's pretty much the Hulk that I would have wanted all along. Either this or the classic '70s, early '80s style Hulk, or shy of that, a McFarlane Hulk, right? But ultimately, my preferred version of Hulk is the Dale Keown Hulk, and so this came out, at a somewhat perfect time. So here's a look at the packaging. Yeah, this packaging actually I actually really like it. It's better than most packaging for other character figures. For instance, the X-Men '97 packaging is kind of bland, to be honest, and a lot of the other character-based packaging is also kind of bland. So I like that they include the Incredible Hulk logo with the Hulk, coming out at us, and the minchiality of the packaging, of the brick wall, being broken down. So I think the team responsible for designing this really knocked it out of the park. Here we have on the side a cover. I'm not exactly sure what issue this is from, but this is not the exact version that they based the figure on. I'll post a picture of the cover that around here. I'll post a picture of the cover that they actually used to reference for this figure. I believe it's issue 393 or something like that. I forget, but I'll post it up. And then here we have in the back the readout for a small bio of Professor Hulk and him with all of his accessories. In case you noticed, I already took off the bandolier off of him. Again, this is my preferred look for the Hulk, but not necessarily the entire package of the Hulk. Meaning, I'm not gonna display him with the bandolier and the gun. I'm just gonna mostly pose him, with the bare shirt and fists and all of that, and obviously without the bunny slippers. I don't have anything personally against the bunny slippers, and for those who like that particular look, but it was a bit tongue-in-cheek for the Marvel Legends team to include that for this version, but I probably would have done without, right? And then this is the same image that we saw on the other side, but only flipped, right? So here's everything else, right? Everything that comes inside the packaging. So like I said, the head sculpt that's on the Hulk right now is the second alternate head sculpt, the head sculpt here. This is the default one that comes when you buy the figure. And let's take a look at this one up close. really, really reminiscent of the artwork based off of Dale Keown's work on Hulk. And some people may want to use this head sculpt on their Maximum Hulk, and I'm gonna show you that there's one major issue when trying to fit this head sculpt on the Maximum Hulk, and the reason why some people will try to use this head sculpt on the Maximum is to give the a look of the Marvel versus Capcom version of Hulk, who is a combination of Professor Hulk and Standard Hulk, because that version of Hulk has the ripped pants, but has this kind of hairstyle look. Although his expression is more like the angry expression that's on the other head sculpt. So if you buy yourself a Professor Hulk, you can maybe try and swap out the hair pieces, right? That's an option, and you can complete your Marvel vs. Capcom style Hulk. Although we're likely to get a version of that in the future from Marvel. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna let that pass, right? So here's that one, and then we have the glasses that would go with that head sculpt. So let's try. But first, let's have a look. So it's a clear plastic for the glasses, right? Instead of maybe being pure plastic and then painting over like a silver. So instead it's just a clear plastic, and you would just fit those on top. They actually do have a pretty decent grip. Right, so the glasses are hold on pretty tightly, and that's how that he would look with these. The glasses you can use on either expression or head sculpt, but I think primarily you would want to use it on this one, right? And then here's his gun that he comes on that cover that I showed earlier. So if you notice, I'll post the image again of the cover here. You'll notice that yes, Hulk does have this gun. I believe it's holding it on our right side, right? He's pointing at the gun like this. But if you notice, behind the Incredible Hulk logo on the left side, on his left side, well, it would be his right side, our left side, he's actually holding an even bigger gun behind the Incredible Hulk logo. I think that gun would have been cool if they had included that gun as well on this packaging, as you know, because that gun is impressive. That's a gun worthy of Hulk. Now this gun is pretty good, pretty good, decent sized for Hulk, but I think that the other gun would have been even better. And he is able to hold it. Now, one thing, full disclosure, I did try and manipulate a little bit the gun holding hand on Hulk. So if he doesn't grip it, it's not the figure's fault, it's my fault. But I think he's gonna grip it fine. I just tried to get since I'm not gonna have him displayed with the gun, I tried to have the fingers, the grip, a little more open. But it's when you get the figure, the grip will be tighter. But he's still holding on to it pretty nicely, and that's how Professor Hulk would look like with the gun. But like I said, yours is definitely gonna grip it tighter than mine, because I did loosen up that grip, right? Oh, you know what? I just noticed I'm missing something. I'm missing the other hands. Let me see where I left those. And here they are. Sorry. Okay, so he does come with extra fists. It actually comes packaged with one fist and one open hand. I believe the open gun hand. But he does come with two fists. pretty standard sized Hulk fists that you can easily switch out. Right? So this is pretty much how I'm going to have him displayed in my display. And finally, we have the bunny slippers, which are also, you know, pretty well sculpted. The detail on the fur is well done. The expression on the bunny, right? So it's all, you know, fine if you're into this. And of course, you just slide these on. And they fit him perfectly fine. And they hold on very nicely. So let's get all of this out of the way. And now let's do the articulation. Over. Articulation. Basic Hulk articulation or Marvel Legends articulation. You know, you got the butterfly that goes this way backwards, almost non-forward. I mean, this is the neutral position, and then this is forward. So there's nothing more that they could have done is cut in, make a cut on the pecs here on the side to make the cut a little bit deeper, allowing for a longer run of their butterfly. Again, which was one of the main complaints of previous Hulk figures, that why he couldn't do the thunderclap, right? Thus, Marvel's solution, the rubber overlay on Maximum Hulk. Single jointed elbows, but he does get 90 degrees. Very clicky. And they don't break up the sculpt too much. The upper diaphragm does have the ball joint, which is the frustration that it should have had it at the waist as well, but as you saw, it only has the swivel waist. The legs kind of form a 90 degree spread, but you don't need Hulk to be performing splits. He does have a kind of 90 degree kick, right? The double jointed pinless knees, and the ankles are kind of stiff on mine. I had to hit it with a hairdryer when I got it, so be careful, because these are kind of stiff out of the box. But he does have the full run, and of course the ankle swivel. Here's the sculpt from the back. And in case you are wondering what he looks like with the other head, this is what he looks like standard out of the box and without the glasses. Okay. Now we're going to do the comparison with, one thing to note, the gripping hand for the gun has the what do you call it, horizontal swivel. So instead of going like most Hulk figures side to side, this swivels up and down, right? Okay, I'm gonna bring in the Maximum Hulk for a comparison. Okay, so here is Maximum Hulk next to Professor Hulk. Now, the camera may not pick up on all of the subtleties. Let me try and see if I can lower the reflection on maximum Hulk. But the camera may not pick up exactly all of the subtleties in terms of the color differential, but there is a subtle difference in the greens. You'll notice the difference if you're going to try and do head swaps. The the greens don't exactly match. So depending on how you want to try and display them, if you want to put the heads on, let's say well, I mean, I'll show you, right? One of the issues, though, that Hasbro, in their infinite wisdom, is that they made the ball joints different sizes. Smaller ball joint, bigger ball joint. So you're not going to be able to swap the heads unless you do some tinkering. So obviously you can fit the maximum head on Professor Hulk, but because of the gap of the ball joint on the maximum Hulk, the head is going to float insecurely. While trying to put the head of the Professor Hulk on the maximum Hulk, because the hole is too small, the head just floats insecurely, and if you just move him, the head is going to fall off. Okay? So that's one issue. Now, one of the ways that you can correct this, which is what I'm going to do, on the maximum Hulk, if I want to use the other heads that come, I'm sorry, let me backtrack. If on the Professor Hulk, I want to use the head sculpts that come on the maximum Hulk, that's how, so you see how this one looks, and then you'll see how this one looks, and then how this one looks. Okay, so if you like any of those on this body, you know, I personally don't think any one of these match perfectly, but in terms of the, I can show you here the color difference in the greens, so you can see how the green on this one from the maximum is a little darker than on the skin tone from the Professor Hulk. Right, so you're gonna have to use a lighter color on top, maybe dry brush a lighter green, so that it can sort of match with the Professor Hulk's skin tone. Okay, but for now, let's use the standard head. But I was gonna say, one of the options that you can do if you want to fit one of these heads. Now, I don't know if previous Hulks or which ball joint system they use in terms of like the size, but if it's a similar situation, what you can do is on the Professor Hulk, you can either use some epoxy and just sculpt over the ball and make it a little bit larger, and you now easily have the ball joint ready to connect any of these other heads. But on the case of the maximum Hulk, if you want to fit the Professor Hulk heads, there is no other option but to drill the hole and make it wider to accommodate the bigger ball joint on the maximum Hulk, which is what I am going to do, because this is how I'm going to display the Hulks in my collection. This angry head is going on maximum Hulk, which is almost like as I was saying earlier, this is going to be somewhat what we're probably going to get in the future as far as the Capcom versus Marvel version of Hulk. He has the ripped pants, but they're in this color, and he pretty much has this expression, but with this wavy hair. So if you want, like I said, if you want to experiment, you can try and remove the hair from this one and do a transplant and see how that looks. But all in all, this is how I'm going to display my figures. And the Maximum Hulk, I think, becomes a little better now that he has the proper head sculpt that should have been on him from the get-go. This is fine because this is a Dale Keown head sculpt, but this is more modern Hulk, and this is his more vintage style, the way he used to draw Hulk in the early 90s. So yeah, so overall, what's the verdict? Do you need Professor Hulk if you already have Maximum or any other previous Hulk? Well, previous Hulks were not Professor Hulk, as far as I know. They were all pretty much the shirtless, torn pants version, and just with different head sculpts. And of course, there have been a few releases of Gray Hulk, right? But I'm pretty sure Professor Hulk has not been done since maybe the Toy Biz days. I don't know. But for me personally, the disappointment with Maximum Hulk is eased just a little bit. One, because I got it on discount. But two, now that I have the actual head sculpt that I would have wanted Maximum to come in the first place, now it becomes a little the blowback, the disappointment of Maximum Hulk is lessened by that. Now it's a shame that I had to buy another Hulk, because if this is Maximum Hulk, this should have been the only Hulk that you would need, right, in the future. But obviously, he's not Professor Hulk. Professor Hulk is completely completely different sculpting and all of that. So at least Hasbro put in the effort to give us more new on this one than they decided to give us on this one. So that's the disappointing part with Maximum Hulk. They preferred to give us more new on a standard release than the overpriced Maximum version that has mostly reused parts. So there's that. It's up to you. Again, everybody says, it's your money. You spend it however you want it. Personally, like I said, it turned out to be a little more worth it to get Professor Hulk in order to improve Maximum Hulk. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Do you have Maximum Hulk? Did you get Professor Hulk? And did you purchase with the intent of, like how I did, in terms of helping improve Maximum Hulk? Or did you just because you wanted to have both versions? Or, like I said, if you didn't get Maximum Hulk, was Professor Hulk the one you were waiting for, or you're still waiting for another classic type version of Hulk? So let me know in the comments below. And also, like, comment, subscribe, and all of that. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.